A child, even as young as 18 months, is already mastering the art of balance, and learning that this is more easily achieved when the feet are apart. There is no arch under a toddler's foot. Oh, it is so good for my whole body. I have to stretch my legs and toes to kick this bell. Trying to wriggle buttons out of my toes is a good game, and harder than you think it is. To let a marble drop through is fun. But it's a bit hard for a little chap when Mummy holds his feet together. And opening the gate for Mummy's hand or her pencil is a game. But it's most fun when I do it by myself. Curl under and stretch open, which is important. They can also hold something. When we stand up, they could bend back off the floor. And the big toe alone can do this. Notice the muscle pulling it up. When the foot turns into a caterpillar, watch how, after the toes stretch out, the heel pulls forward to make a tunnel. Besides stretching our ankles down and up, we should turn our feet inward and in a circle. Strong ankles will allow us to rock steadily forward and backwards. Knees will bend forward and outward over turned out feet, a belly dancer's exercise, and they will turn outwards. Look closer at this turning out and remember it for later on. Here you will notice the ankle bones slightly apart. Crooked toe joints must be prevented from growing stiff, so the toe should be pulled strongly with our hands, particularly the big one to save a bunion developing. Hard skin under a young toe could turn to a callus and can safely be rubbed down weakly with wet pumice stone. Let us wind our ankles round in the biggest circle. Our hips too can be loosened by pressing our knees down with our hands. Here are 3 pairs of feet, showing straight toes, crooked big ones, overlapping and underbent toes. These are the good ones, close together. Here we see them crooked. Look again at the straight ones, close together. And back to the crooked ones. Such big toes at 7 years might in older age grow into a bunion. On we go to look at the overlapping and underbent toes. There is one overlapping the other. Watch how these crooked big toes try to come straighter and nearer together. These subtle underbent and overlapping toes can improve their positions till they are permanently good. In good standing, the heels could touch. If they cannot, the body weight may be too much on the inner side of the foot. Here a child is trying to correct this by turning his knees outward. And you will notice how the inner ankle bones just come slightly apart. From the front, you will see how difficult this correction is while keeping the feet still. These 3 pairs of feet show good ones, weak ankles, and flattened arches. This weak ankle shows an extra bump below the inner ankle bone because the body weight is tipped onto the inner border. Turning his knees outward, this child will correct this fault, and you will notice the extra bump disappears. Here is the flattened arch, and the same correction is being tried. Here is a front view of the good, the weak ankles, and the flat arches. This weak ankle is well corrected by the knee movement with the ball of the foot firmly on the ground. Here, however, is a wrong correction with the foot tipped over. It is only the corrected shifting of the body weight, without which this exercise could not be performed, that enables this child to balance on one foot. With strong ankles in heel raising, the heel should keep together. In knock knees, as on the right, the knees will overlap if the heels are together. But watch the correction from the back view of this child. Even when her knees go back, you see her heels are just a little bit apart. This is the front view. The same thing, she's trying to push her knee back to the side of the other one. If her knees are comfortably side by side, her heels will be apart. When the knees bend out, they must be over the feet, not forward as in the right-hand child, whose body weight is being pressed onto the big toe joint. In walking, the feet should be straight forward to avoid that weight being on the inner side of the foot. On the right you will see the feet turned out. This vicious circle shows how ill-fitting footwear can affect our toes with corns, calluses or hard skin, bad nails, ingrowing and hard, and bunions. Then our feet, knees and ankles will begin to ache. We shall get pain and fatigue. Then our backs will ache. We shall slump, and our breathing and our digestion will be affected. Even our eyes might be strained, and in fact our body balance entirely will be upset. Our feet will ache more, we shall feel more out of sorts, and round we go again. Nails must be kept short to avoid friction of the shoe. Socks must be long enough for toes to be straight. Shoes must be roomy but well-fitting, with the inner border straight and with sufficient width not to cramp the big toes. Take your child with you when you are buying her shoes. Building up and wedging must only be prescribed in writing by the doctor. This chart shows good and bad shoe shapes of a child and of an adult. Notice the straight inner border on the left-hand side and the cramped position of the toes on the right. See these youngsters enjoying their foot exercises. One is a little too busy because her big toes are crooked, and she is making matters worse as she does caterpillar. true, but, mothers, they are your responsibility.